By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to say to go on a for sale by owner listing appointment. Show them why paying you a commission makes sense and walk away with a signed listing agreement. I'm going to share with you visually my Netting FSBO's More Money presentation, and I'm also going to take you through the scripts and dialogues that go along with this visual presentation, so you stop wasting your time previewing FSBOs and walking away empty-handed and frustrated. Now, before we start this presentation, I wrote down a few things that I want to share with you that are very important. This presentation speaks to what matters to FSBOs. As a matter of fact, it's the only thing that matters to them, which is money. The presentation is logical and it's evidence-based. And if you go on a FSBO appointment and you do a regular presentation, not a Netting FSBOs More Money, something else, whatever you're doing with everybody else, it's not going to work because they are selling on their own because they believe they can do the same thing that an agent can do. So if you show up and you don't speak to how you're going to be able to make up more than make up for the commission you charge, they're not going to list unless they're ready to list. And they're a FSBO because they're not ready to list. So unless you catch them at the perfect moment, it's nothing else other than this presentation is going to work for you to take listings. Number 2 that I wrote down, statistics show that FSBO sellers lose money. It's a fact. Now, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. Like, your beliefs don't change the facts. They only change your results. They're going to list and sell with or without you. If it's not with you, it'll be with another agent. And you can't convince them of the financial benefit of listing with you if you don't believe in it. So this is a presentation for you to study and master. Number 3, I wrote down two questions I want you to answer. First one, write it down. Why should FSBOs pay you to represent them? And second question, what is the return on investment for them? If you cannot answer these questions, they shouldn't list with you. The good news is that by the end of this video, you will know the answer to these questions. Number 4, I wrote down, someone is always selling someone something. Since you can't convince somebody of something that you don't believe in, FSBOs are very confident about what they're doing. And in order for you to list them, you have to be more confident about what you can do for them than they are about what they're doing, obviously. Then I wrote down, knowledge gives you confidence because you have to be more confident that they are. How do you gain this confidence? Gaining knowledge. Knowledge gives you confidence. A lack of knowledge of what to say, how to say it, and how to present makes you fearful, hesitant, and ineffective. FSBOs are extremely confident. When you call, their confidence is at a 10. Yours needs to be at an 11. And you have to stay at an 11 and cause them to doubt their confidence. And at the appointment, now it's time to show them what you've been talking about over the phone. Number 5, there are only 6, and then we're going to start this. Number 5, you have an internal conflict, and that is, you're going to hear what I say here. and you'll understand it. It'll make sense to you in the moment, but you don't really believe in it for yourself. Understanding it doesn't mean you know it or you believe in it. How do you go from where you're at now, not believing it, to becoming the queen or king of FSBOs in your market? Put in the time to learn, and you will develop the confidence. And how you do that is by repetition. Repetition is the mother of skill. And then I wrote this down as an example for you. You can watch Tiger Woods play golf and understand what he's doing, but can you do it? The answer is no, because you haven't put in the time required to master the golf swing like he has. What does Tiger Woods do, or what has he done and continues to do to be at the level that he's at? What does he practice? The perfect golf swing. He does it so many times, repetition, that it's impossible to make mistakes. As a matter of fact, I looked this up. He hits 1,000 balls per day when he's preparing for a tournament. He's been practicing his entire life. It's unreasonable to expect to get professional results if you don't practice like a professional. You're practicing like an amateur or not at all. So you're not going to get professional results. When you train like a professional, you get paid like one. And the last thing I wrote down, number 6, trust me, this is a lot easier, this presentation that I'm going to share with you. It's a lot easier for you to learn this than for you to go out and preview 50 FSBOs and maybe you'll list one. Previewing is extremely time-consuming, it's exhausting, it's discouraging, and it's unpredictable. If you want consistent, predictable results, master my FSBO presentation, and you can call one FSBO, go out on that appointment and take one listing. One call, one listing taken. That's what this is about. So here you go. This is a marketing presentation, and it is the true cost, as it says, for a for sale by owner to sell themselves. Why? Because FSBOs have problems. I'll go back to this one. FSBOs have problems, and the problems they have cost them money. And what are some of the problems that they have? Limited exposure. They're dealing with bargain hunters. They're also dealing with unqualified buyers. They have no negotiating skills, legal liability, and safety and security. Now, I'd ask you this question. Do these problems cost them money? Absolutely 100% in so many ways. Exposure, because more demand equals more money. That is a law in economics. The more demand you can create for any product or service you're selling, the more money you will sell for. And no matter what FSBOs do to create exposure, because FSBOs understand this, because their property is on hundreds of websites. They're doing open houses. They put a sign in front of their house. They're doing whatever they can to bring in buyers, because they understand that without exposure to buyers, the property won't sell. what I think the part that they're really missing is that on their own, they're not able to make sure that 100% of the buyers and 100% of the agents that are working with those buyers know that the house is for sale. And why is that? Let me go back here. According to the profile of buyers and sellers, in 2023, whenever you're watching this, go look for the previous year stats. In 2023, 89% of buyers in the United States bought through an agent, and only 7% of homes sold as a FSBO. So what does this mean for a FSBO? That they're only exposing their property to a very small percentage of buyers on the market, 7%. As a matter of fact, it's not written here, but of that 7%, 4%, meaning more than half of these FSBOs, sold their house to somebody they knew. It wasn't like open market, a buyer that came from their marketing strategies. They sold it to somebody they knew. 89% of buyers, for various reasons, chose to use an agent. So if they're not working with an agent, they're missing out on 89% of the buyers. And since more demand equals more money, which is the law of supply and demand, by only exposing their property to 7% of the buyers, how much could they sell for? 100% exposure equals top market price. That's what it takes. FSBOs, they want to net more money. And in order to do that, they have to sell for top market price, and they need a strong agent representing them to not only maximize the exposure, but also negotiate the highest price, best terms, inspections, appraisals, walkthrough, take care of the entire process, take away their legal liability. You see that some of the stuff I'm talking about falls into these 6 problems they have. They have problems negotiating. They don't think they have them. As a matter of fact, FSBOs don't think they have any problems, right? We know these problems cost them money, but they don't think so. Now, do you understand how these problems cost them money? Because that is the entire presentation. And again, it could make sense to you. You're like, okay, this sounds so good, but I don't believe that I can do more than they can. I'm not a strong negotiator. I don't know how to do any of this. Well, then you know what? Go learn it. Go figure it out. Go sell enough homes. Find the resources. Join my training program. Go learn. Because if you just sit there waiting for, I don't know, like you to be hit by a magic wand that's all of a sudden gonna cause you to become magically super skilled, it's not gonna happen. And in the meantime, I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you're not even calling FSBOs, but a lot of agents are calling with, if I have a buyer, would you work with me? Or can I come preview your property? This is completely ineffective. And sooner or later, you're going to figure it out by getting frustrated. The key to FSBOs, to listing FSBOs, is really understanding how paying your commission will make them money. It will be an investment. An investment is something that you put money into and you get more out, more return on that. You get a return on the investment. You get what you invested and then some. That's what this must be. And quite honestly, as a real estate agent, if you don't understand this, you don't know how to present it, you don't believe in it, you shouldn't be listing FSBOs. They should not list with you because Nobody would. It makes no sense. Now, FSBOs are also dealing with bargain hunters. What does this mean? It means that the more demand equals more money. An auction is the perfect example of that. Garage sale. They're dealing with garage sale type buyers. I want you to think of it this way. If you can walk into a jewelry store and buy a watch in a jewelry store with services and warranty for $2,000, how much, if you actually keep it in the box with the receipt and you decide to have a garage sale this weekend and sell it in your garage sale, how much do you think you'll be able to sell it for? Brand new in the box with the receipt. Considerably less, not even half, maybe 10 or 20% of what you paid. Why? Because garage sale buyers don't pay top market price. They're looking for a deal. The same way that the buyers that go directly to a for sale by owner know they don't have a listing agent. And the commission the FSBO is looking to save is the same commission that the buyer is looking to save. So the buyer is looking for a deal. As a matter of fact, there are different types of buyers out there. I'll go back. Only 4% of buyers are ready, willing, and able. 96% fall into one of these other categories. They're not ready, willing, and able to buy now. I love when FSBOs say, "Well, I'm getting a lot of calls." Great. That's good. You know, you're never going to put him down. That's a first step. That's great news. The truth is, a very small percentage are serious buyers. They're serious, they're in a hurry, they're ready, willing, able to buy now. It's a very small percentage, and FSBOs tend to attract buyers that are not in a hurry, investors, a lot of lookers. Why a lot of lookers? Let's go back here. 70% of the buyers, in quotes, they're not really ready, willing, and able to buy anything. They have frozen equity. So what does that mean? It means they have a house to sell before they can buy the next one. They need the equity in the house they currently own to put down in the house they're going to buy. But they don't wait for their house to sell and then go out and look at properties. They say, you know what, before we put our house for sale, let's go out there and see what we can buy. They're walking into open houses. They're calling for sale by owners. Why? Because it's easy. If they call a real estate agent, a professional agent that knows what they're doing, the agent is going to ask them, are you pre-approved for the loan? No, I'm buying cash. I would need proof of funds. A great buyer's agent is going to qualify this buyer. They're not just going to throw them in their car and start showing them properties where you'd have to sign a buyer representation agreement first. Anyhow, the point is, it's easy for them to go directly to for sale by owners. Investors as well. Why investors? Because they're looking for a deal. Investors like to have their money work for them. That's the point here. And they know that they can save money with a for sale by owner who is not paying a listing agent and who has no experience. I know some FSBOs said, yeah, I've sold 10 houses on my own before. Honestly, and that when you're talking to a FSBO and they say this kind of stuff to you, you go like, wow, that's great. Obviously, you know what you're doing. But the reality is that no homeowner that really understands real estate and how it works would sell on their own. And I say this confidently. I was a for sale by owner before I got a real estate license because I had no clue what I was doing. What, period. And I ended up getting a real estate license to sell my house and be able to save money. So the biggest challenge for a for sale by owner and for you as an agent is to separate the 4% from the 96% that are not doing anything. Think about it. Biggest challenge for real estate agents. Now, how you're going to maximize exposures by being an aggressive agent. If you watched any of my videos and you know what I talk about and what I teach, you look for buyers and sellers daily. You are actively speaking with 40 to 50 people a day about buying and selling real estate, while 99% of agents are sitting around and waiting. They take a listing, they put it in the MLS, they put it on hundreds or thousands of websites, they do open houses, and basically it's passive. They're now sitting there waiting. Okay, well, I hope somebody walks in. I hope somebody calls. I hope another agent has a buyer. Aggressive agents, they market the properties to top agents in their area. How? Via email. Top agents, you identify who they are, and you don't allow your listings to just get lost in the shuffle. 10,000 residential properties for sale. How is your home going to stand out to the agents that sell in the area where your listing is located and top agents? It's by you creating an aggressive marketing campaign so those agents see your home and know it's for sale. You cross-sell, meaning every call you make to a FSBO, an expired, a past client, a neighborhood call, at the end of every call, if you're using my scripts, and by the way, download my free script book. There's a link in the description. My scripts are there. At the end of every script, we always ask, by the way, can you think of anyone who might be looking to buy or sell real estate anywhere in our area? Because you are cross-selling. It doesn't matter where you're calling or who you're talking to. You're always looking for buyers for your listings, and you're looking for more sellers, because the more sellers you have, more listings you have, the more buyers calls you have, and the more you can take these buyers and sell them across your listings, because buyers don't usually buy the properties that they call on or inquire about. They end up buying something else. And if you have a lot of listings, you have this opportunity to cross-sell versus other agents sitting in an open house waiting, that's hoping that somebody walks in. Let's see what else is here. Oh, I love this one. Time is money. And FSBOs don't understand that, because a lot of FSBOs say, well, I'm not in a hurry, as if not being in a hurry is going to get them a higher price. So in their mind, they're thinking, if I'm willing to wait, I'll sell for more. I'll get a higher price. Well, if the market is going up, well, that might be the case. But outside of the market going up, the longer a property sits on the market, the bigger the gap between the list price and sales price. You need to know your local market stats. You can get them from your local board of realtors or your MLS directly. Local board is probably easier because they usually, most MLSs, most board of realtors, they take information from the MLS and they provide market stats to their members. And this is one of those very important statistics you need to know. What is the list to sales price ratio and days on market and that relationship? Because it is a fact, the longer it takes to sell, the less they sell for. Financial benefits of working with you. 100% exposure equals top market price. You will negotiate the highest price and best terms in every aspect of the transaction. You're going to handle all of the paperwork to protect them from legal liability. You're going to handle appraisal, inspections, repairs, walkthrough. You're going to make sure that the buyer, the the purchase of their home is not contingent on the buyer selling another property, which is what I referred to a few minutes ago. 70% of buyers have a property to sell before they can buy. And in many cases, they write an offer, it's contingent on them getting a mortgage. They don't disclose that it's contingent on the sale of another property, because in that case, a lot of sellers would be hesitant in accepting their offer, but they don't really have to disclose that it's contingent, because it's contingent on the mortgage. And if they don't sell, they don't have the equity, the down payment, so their mortgage is declined. And here the seller wasted a lot of time, maybe even already moved out. And a week, 10 days before closing, they find out the mortgage was not approved and the deal fell through. This is a huge risk that can cost FSBOs a lot of money, and great agents will protect them from this. Obviously, agents have E&O insurance. Safety. Now, I want you to think this through. If you're sitting at home on a Tuesday afternoon and someone knocks on your door, complete stranger off the street, and they say, "Oh, do you mind if I come in and look at your house?" Excuse me. I mean, I was a FSBO 28 years ago, but I know better now. Uh, who in their right state of mind would say, "Sure, come in, open, go into my closet and check everything out"? That's what for sale by owners are doing. If they don't have a safety concern about this whole entire process, without any kind of qualifying the buyers, because they don't, um, maybe it's something for them to think about. And obviously, legally protecting them from any type of scams that might be out there. This again is from Profile of Buyers and Sellers. It's showing the medium sales price. This is 2023 again, of the agent assisted sales versus the for sale by owner sales, the 89% and the 7%, and the difference is 23%. 23% less the homes that listed and sold for sale by owner versus the agent assisted sales. So there are a lot of different scripts and dialogues, but in a nutshell, I've walked you through this presentation so you have the confidence to use my script when you call FSBOs. Set an appointment and go out and show them why listing with you is the best financial decision they can make. I trust this was helpful for you. Leave your comments and questions below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.